Hi everyone. Ever wondered what do the designers mean when they say sport weight, DK, Aran, worsted, bulky, super bulky, jumbo? There are so many terminologies for the yarns that they use. So how do we actually use it? Especially this is very important, especially when we do not have the same yarns as they have used, and we need to actually substitute some other yarn for the same design so that it looks as beautiful as a designer's piece. So that is where we need to know what do they mean by yarn weights. So each of these yarns what we get, actually if you see, they vary in thickness. They are not of the same size. You can see this is very thick, whereas this is very thin. So you can see this is very thick and this is very thin. So that is how the yarn weights are calculated. But it's not mere eye rolling and you make a comment that this is this weight or not. So we do have specific measurement as to how we can call this as lace weight to jumbo. So first let me tell you what are the weights that are available. So we do have 8 weights according to Yarncraft Council, and the first one would be the lace weight. Now you can see this is very thin. This is actually the lace weight that I have. Yes, it does have extra shimmering effect here, but yes, this is one of the lace weight yarn that I have. Then comes the fingering weight. So if you check the label of the yarns, they usually mention what weight they are. So when I tell fingering weight, they're also known as the super fine. So you can see in this, it's mentioned here that it is super fine, and it is weight 1. Okay, so if that is not mentioned like that, if it is a hand dyed especially, you may get to see something like this. So you can see here it's written fingering weight yarn. So this is the fingering weight yarn that I could show you. Then I do have another. You can see this is another one, super fine. Again, you can see the label having the mention of the yarn weight. Then the next one, the third one would be the fine or the sport weight. So you can see it is going to be written like this. Okay, and then we do have weight 3 or light, also known as the light, or it is known as the DK weight. So you can see here. So you can have 3. This is one of the Papataya Sunday yarn that I have here. You can see the colorful yarn, and similarly you have one more here. So this is again 3. So you will have all the mentioning in the yarn label. So make sure you see the yarn label. So you have your medium or 4. This is the Aran yarn. So you can make out. Then we have the bulky or the 5. So it can be mentioned in various ways. It can just be mentioned as bulky. So please make sure you see the entire yarn label to know what type of yarn it is. Now, having said this, now this is what our yarn manufacturer has put it on their label. Now, does it actually mean the same? There is actually an overlap between the yarn weights, and we actually, if you want to know how to calculate exactly where it falls, there is one more measurement that we actually can do. It's simple, basic one. You can actually try at home. All you need will be a scale. Sorry for that. Yeah, all you need will be a scale, and you need to mark, a 1 inch mark there. Either you can use a sellotape or you can use a rubber band like this, so that the 1 inch distance is specifically marked on your scale. So this is one of the way that you can actually do. I do have a beautiful another polymer clay made by one of my friend Vidu here. So you can, if you have something like this fancy, you can use this too. So now how do we actually do this is, you take the yarn. I will take this because it's already worn out. So let me take out the yarn. So once we have the yarn out, so you start from one end, okay, and then slowly wrap it. Now see, when you wrap it, it should not be far like this. You need to put them closer, okay, put them closer, just next to each other. Okay, like this. So you can actually make it closer. Yeah, they should not overlap each other. They have to be just next to each other. Make sure that they don't go over one another. Okay, so let's make it. So let's see if this yarn is actually a DK weight as mentioned. So we can check that. Because when you look at various manufacturers, depending upon the country of origin, there are different ways they actually label the yarn weight. Some use 4-ply as a means to tell it is sport weight, whereas it may not turn out to be a sport weight just because it has 4-ply. Even the fingering can be a 4-ply. So now we have done it. There is no overlapping. We have done. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 wraps. This is 1 inch that has been there, and without overlapping we have 22 wraps in this. Now let us go back to the Yarn Craft Council. The website actually has as to how many wraps are per inches present in each of the yarn weights. So if it is lace weight, you will have about 30 to 40, whereas in your fingering weight, it will be anywhere between 14 to 30. Now, look at this. This was label. If you see the label, it is DK weight or light. Okay, whereas when you check the yarn weight using the wrap per inches, it is coming to fingering. And if you use this, it will behave like a fingering when you're actually using it for your projects. So this is a very useful tool to actually know where your yarn stands. As I said, now they might have labeled it as 3 based upon how it was prepared, how many plies they are there, etc. But for our practical usage, we look at this wrap per inches. You can, as I said, you don't require this fancy tool. You can do something with this basic scale. You can actually wrap between these two rubber bands or the sellotapes if you're using instead of rubber bands, and check the number of wraps in that inch, and that will give you what yarn weight it is. So depending upon what project you're choosing, you can choose anywhere between lace to jumbo, and I have shown in this video, you have seen lace weight up till only bulky, because I currently do not have super bulky or jumbo. I work with the thicker yarns less. As I have already mentioned that I do not live in a place where there is a lot of cold. It is mostly hot and humid, and I prefer the thinner yarns. So, but if you are somewhere where it's turning very cold and you want to, whip up a project very fast, then yes, jumbo, super bulky or bulky is the yarn you want to go. So, if you like this video and the information given in this video, do comment what more do you want me to show in my next video. Bye bye.